Every April 29th, the Catholic Church observes the memorial of Saint Catherine of Siena. She is the only laywoman in history to be named a Doctor of the Church, a title reserved for those whose writings have significantly shaped Christian theology. The Gospel reading for her feast day is a passage from John, where Jesus says, "I came into the world as light, so that everyone who believes in me might not remain in darkness." For those living in the 14th century, that darkness was literal and pervasive. The Black Death was moving across the continent, eventually killing nearly 2/3 of Europe's population. At the same time, the institutional church was fracturing. The Pope had moved the papacy from Rome to Avignon, France, leaving the administration of the church in a state of deep corruption and distant from its traditional center. In the city of Siena, Catherine Benincasa grew up as the 23rd child of a local cloth dyer. She had no formal schooling and remained illiterate for much of her life. Despite her lack of status or education, Catherine would eventually emerge from this city to confront the kings and popes who presided over the century's chaos. Catherine's path began with a refusal of the life her family expected for her. At age 7, she made a private vow to devote her life entirely to prayer rather than marriage. By 16, she joined the Mantellate, a group of Dominican tertiaries. This allowed her to wear the order's habit and follow its spiritual discipline, while remaining a laywoman living in her family home. She spent the next 3 years almost entirely within her bedroom. She called this her inner cell, a space where she focused on the knowledge of God and the knowledge of herself through constant prayer. In 1366, Catherine experienced what she described as a mystical marriage with Jesus. This vision marked the end of her total withdrawal and the start of an outward life. These years of isolation provided the theological foundation for her future work. She emerged from her room with the conviction that her internal devotion was only as strong as her service to others. Catherine believed she received a direct command to leave her cell and enter public life. She concluded that love of God could not be separated from the love of one's neighbor. She taught that the soul needs 2 wings to fly to heaven. One wing is the love of God, and the other is the love of neighbor. If either wing is missing, the soul cannot rise. Her public work started in the hospitals of Siena, but it soon expanded. She began dictating letters to cardinals, mercenaries, and monarchs, urging them toward peace and reform. In 1376, she traveled to France to personally confront Pope Gregory XI. She insisted that he must return to Rome to restore the proper functioning of the Church. Her letters to the Pope were striking for their tone. She often addressed him affectionately as Babbo, the Italian word for daddy, while simultaneously commanding him to act with courage and fulfill his duty. Gregory did return to Rome, but his death shortly after triggered a crisis. The College of Cardinals split, electing 2 different men as pope at the same time. This was the start of the Great Western Schism. Catherine moved to Rome to support the election of Urban VI. She spent her remaining years writing to European leaders, arguing that the unity of the Church was more important than the politics of the cardinals. By the end of her life, this uneducated laywoman had become a primary negotiator in the highest levels of European power, operating entirely on the strength of her spiritual experiences. Catherine died in Rome in 1380, at the age of 33, her health broken by her years of travel and her constant work for church unity. When the people of Siena tried to bring her body home, a legend arose that they had to smuggle her head past Roman guards. When the guards opened their bag, they supposedly found it filled with rose petals, allowing them to pass. Her formal recognition by the Church began in 1461, when Pope Pius II canonized her as a saint. In 1970, Pope Paul VI gave her the title of Doctor of the Church. This was a direct acknowledgement of the profound theological depth found in her major work, the Dialogue. Her legacy was further solidified in 1999, when Pope John Paul II named her a co-patroness of Europe, citing her role in trying to bring peace to a divided continent. From her childhood in a dyer shop to her death in the heart of Rome, Catherine's life remains a testament to how an individual, without holding a formal role or education, can influence the course of institutional history.